It has just been revealed that Donald Trump has crossed a new and frightening line. Under the guise of keeping the peace, he activated the military into Los Angeles without the city or state asking for it. And he set the precedence that the National Guard or the Marines could roll into your city. But here's the kicker. It wasn't a reaction. It was a plan, and CNN has the receipts in a revealing expose you need to see for yourself. I will share that report with you in just a minute, but first let's do a quick roundup of authoritarian overreach that is trending today. Speaking of could roll into your city, let's begin with this fiery statement from Congressman Stephen F. Lynch of Massachusetts that invokes the words thuggery and wannabe gangster in describing Trump's attack on our democracy.
When you compare the old films of the Gestapo grabbing people off the streets of Poland, and you compare them to those nondescript thugs who grabbed that student, that graduate student, it does look like a Gestapo operation. It does look like the Gestapo. She was snatched away and detained 1,700 miles away. Her congresswoman couldn't reach her. Her family couldn't reach her. She was held incommunicado, 1,700 miles away. Her attorney could not reach her. Yeah. That was Gestapo-like. That's an appropriate comparison. That's exactly what it was like. It should not happen in this country. This is wrong. Deploying the military against a civilian population is wrong. And if we don't step up, this will continue. If we don't step up and declare what is right under our Constitution, then other cities, other citizens will meet this same fate. I'm proud of my Democratic colleagues who are willing to stand up to this thuggery. Trump is a wannabe gangster, and he's showing the world what he's about. And I'm proud. You know, my dad served in Second World War. He fought the Nazis in Northern Africa. He fought the Nazis on the Italian peninsula. And I think he's looking down right now, and he's happy that I'm fighting today's Nazis. He's proud of that. We all should be. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Without objection, Representative.
And then there's Florida man. Watch as Governor Ron DeSantis matches Trump's energy by giving citizens of his state chilling permission to weaponize their cars. Have a listen, and then I'll share the stunning CNN report on Trump's nefarious and dangerous planning.
And we also have a policy that if you're driving on one of those streets and a mob comes and surrounds your vehicle and threatens you, you have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault for impinging on you. You don't have to sit there and just be a sitting duck and let the mob grab you out of your car and drag you through the streets. You have a right to defend yourself in Florida.
Thanks, DeSantis. Now all we have to do is wait for a peaceful demonstrator to get run over and the driver to say, but Governor Ron told me to claim that I felt threatened and I hit the gas. And now for the CNN expose that I promised that reveals Trump's plan to exercise the authoritarian power that we see unfolding. It begins with the headline, Trump's move to use military for immigration enforcement was months in the making.
When President Donald Trump put 2,000 National Guard troops under his control on Saturday night and ordered them into Los Angeles, it was billed as an urgent response to quell protests. But it was also a move long in the making. Behind the scenes, the White House and Department of Homeland Security had been working for months to find ways to use the National Guard and the military more broadly to bolster the administration's aggressive immigration enforcement agenda. Multiple people familiar with the internal deliberations told CNN. The internal discussions about leveraging the military to support immigration enforcement inside the U.S., rather than just on the southern border, began as early as February, when the White House and DHS started planning how to mobilize active-duty troops from consenting states as force protection for federal agents. There have also been discussions within the administration, including at the Department of Homeland Security and the Defense Department, exploring whether National Guard units from Republican-led states could be used in non-consenting states, since they have more latitude under state orders than when they're federalized, according to 4 other sources familiar with the talks. They are clearly inclined to repeat the LA playbook elsewhere, said one of the sources familiar with the matter. Trump mobilized the California National Guard against the will of California Governor Gavin Newsom and Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, but the troops were taken from within California rather than deployed from another state. But the deployment of active duty Marines to Los Angeles to help with crowd and riot control was also an escalation that left many officials at DoD scratching their heads, people familiar with the matter said. One official said the use of the Marines was intended more as a show of force than out of necessity to control the situation on the ground. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth suggested in testimony on Wednesday that the order Trump signed on Saturday, activating the Guard troops, could apply to other states, in addition to California, and other National Guard units. Trump's order on Saturday night putting at least 2,000 National Guard troops under his control did not name a specific location and was very broad. It said that the troops would be deployed in locations where protests against federal functions are occurring or are likely to occur based on current threat assessments and planned operations. Hegseth said that, thankfully, in most of those states, you'd have a governor that recognizes the need for it, supports it, and mobilizes it, him or herself. In California, unfortunately, the governor wants to play politics with it. Newsom, for his part, has accused the Trump administration of employing authoritarian tactics. California may be first, but it clearly won't end here. Other states are next. Democracy is next, he said in an address Tuesday evening.
Let's be clear. This has nothing to do with law and order. It's about fear and control through power. Donald Trump isn't responding to chaos. He's somewhere on the spectrum between manufacturing and amplifying it. By deploying federal troops and active duty Marines to American streets, he's not just flexing power, he's normalizing the sight of military presence. And as Governor Newsom warned, California may be the first, but it clearly won't end here. If this test run in Los Angeles is successful and there isn't a political or sane citizen pushback that works, then you can expect the same military clampdown to roll into New York, Chicago, and other liberal cities. And that's not just speculation, that's the Trump plan. A plan straight from the authoritarian playbook. First, create or amplify a crisis, then exploit that crisis to justify a massive show of force. Civil liberties erode and dissent gets dangerous. That's how democracy gets brought to its knees, not all at once, but soldier by soldier and crackdown by crackdown.